Thank you, Paul. Would anyone like to post some questions or statements to Paul? Please raise your hand as we're in the classroom. Anybody? No? Okay, please.
How come you can say that the nuclear fuel cycle is safe when we have the evidence of Fukushima and Chernobyl, please?
Yeah, without wishing to get into the details of it, the science around the safety of the nuclear fuel cycle is pretty solid. What we see at Fukushima and Chernobyl are failures around the management, not the science of the nuclear fuel cycle. Unless we actually take the nuclear fuel cycle as a serious proposition to be able to provide a carbon-free energy environment, then we are probably not going to meet our energy demands into the future. So your point is valid, but it does not go to the science around the nuclear fuel cycle, it goes to the management.
Are we happy with that? Any other, yes? Is a copy of the transcript of your speech going to be made available?
It goes up on Australia's Science Channel on Monday.
Anybody else? Oh.
What was the first thing that was able to evolve?
What? This is the most important question I've had in a very long time. So far as we know, the life on Earth started something like 3.8 billion years ago. So a very, very long time ago. It was very simple forms of life, bacteria-like creatures. And as soon as life starts, that's when evolution steps in. So let's just push it back to 3.8 billion years and we'll call it quits there. What do you reckon?
All right, last one for Paul, please. Yes, young lady?
Hi, I was just wondering about the education system, why does the education system decide that science is just science, where medicine is just medicine, and you can't actually, there's no such thing as merging studying together?
That's another excellent question. Yes, and I'm not a big fan of siloing up the sciences and the reach of science. In my speech, I did mention that what we need to teach is not so much the facts and figures of science, but the methods of science, how to think rationally. And that should span across a number of areas of teaching, not just so-called science classes. So your point is well made. We shouldn't be looking at siloing and dividing up the various education streams. I would like to see the methods and the principles of science as a thread weaved through the whole syllabus, inside and outside of science courses.
With the science of the nuclear fuel cycle, how do you exclude the study of economic irrationality and mismanagement as being a key factor in whether pursuing the nuclear fuel cycle is a rational alternative?
We're coming back to the, first of all, reports around the question of management goes back to my previous answer, that what I'm talking about is the science behind dealing with the nuclear fuel cycle, not the management of it, which is where the failures have occurred in the past. When it comes to the economic question as to whether or not it is economically viable to have a nuclear industry, that again is actually outside of the science of it, and so that is where that debate needs to be had. But from the scientific perspective, We need to move to a carbon neutral environment tomorrow, if not in 1970. And on paper, as a scientific proposition, the nuclear fuel cycle has an important role to play in that mix. That's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the science.
Thank you very much, Paul. He'll be back to sum up. I would like to introduce, oh, please, a hand